Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
Get away from her, you bitch!
No chance, no way, I won't say a no.
You're terminated, motherfucker.
Get away from her, you bitch. That's from a different film. That's from Paul.
There's no place like home. Fuck you, Dorothy was an absolute OG.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Any other quotes?
Yes, thanks. Oh, did you want me to say them? So,
I think you've got something for me. That was Captain Marvel in Endgame.
Oh. I'm no one. Game of Thrones, come on, man.
Oh, shit.
I am no man. Eowyn, my solid character.
For no woman I am.
That sounds like Yoda said it. For no woman I am.
I think that's how she said it when she revealed herself to the Witch King.
I don't know, but the fact is she fucked up his face.
No, there was like, no, Witch King, you fucked up, for I am no man, and then stabbed him in the fucking face.
She said that exactly. She said, no, Witch King, you fucked up.
I defy you to tell me that wouldn't have been awesome.
I think that would have definitely been awesome, but I don't know if Tolkien would have written that.
If he'd lived, he would have.
I mean, to be fair, it was a 12A film, so they would have been allowed to say fuck at least once in that film, and that would have been like, you done fucked up, boy.
What would a middle of swear word be like?
Oh, I don't know. But
You prune gadder, or something like that.
None of those words are swear words.
Well, that's like a shire swear word, prune gadder.
A prune gadder.
I don't. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of
a prayer, laughing on a prayer. That's what it's called.
My name is.
A man has no name.
How have you fucking forgot? My name is Dylan Oltoft.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. His name is Dylan Oltoft.
And who are you?
I'm no one.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, sorry.
It's the third time.
I am. No, wait, that's not a female character. I'm Rob McNabb. There we go.
He's Rob McNabb,
Yeah.
and today this is an episode for the ladies.
And about the ladies.
And for how awesome ladies are, especially when depicted in modern fiction, past fiction, and future fiction. Although we haven't seen that yet because it's in the future.
I know, yeah, I know. Oh wait, can you hear that? I could already hear the comment section calling us simps. I can hear the typing.
Save your pearl clutching for a few minutes' time, because we are indeed going to spend this episode celebrating the amount of badass female represented roles we have had in fiction, unless
of course they're villains. If they're bad, if they're evil, then, you know, we're going to talk about how we hate them.
I don't know, dem cheekbones from Maleficent.
Oh yeah, but that's from makeup, man. That's just fake.
No, that's Angelina Jolie being my ultimate, like, MILF mummy.
I mean,
I simp for Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
but this will not be coming from a sexual perspective, mostly. It will be also from platonic appreciation. But we will not be sucking on the pearls indefinitely. We will also be pointing out what was great and what has now become terrible in a lot of modern representation of the female form in cinema.
In cinema, in TV series, in media in general. We're going to go over the stereotypes. We're going to go over
I'm not really bothered how women
stereotypes.
are represented in books, to be honest.
What about Hermione Granger?
I don't know. We both read the Game of Thrones. Did you really give a shit about Cersei in the books compared to the films? To TV series?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really? I thought it was quite dead on.
What do you mean, did I give a shit? What you said, did I give a shit? Yeah, I gave a shit.
I mean, like, was it really that different from the TV series?
Well, no, that doesn't mean she's a bad character.
No, not at all.
What? So why did you ask whether I gave a shit?
Because you mentioned all media, but like, is it really worth mentioning women represented in books?
Well, yeah, books are a form of media. going to do everyone.
Well, that was my point. But if they're represented,
why did you ask whether I gave a shit? Though you're like, did you really give a shit about Cersei in the books? It's like, well, yeah, obviously. Why'd you?
We can all agree Sansa was shit, right?
I mean, Sophie Turner did what she could.
But this will get onto a point we have probably some time later. But Rob, let's start off with on a high note.
Yeah.
Best female characters in movies. Go.
Okay, mine too. Okay, look, I can't say one, so let's do top three, right?
We'll do a fuck ton. Let's just go.
Top three. My first one is Ripley from Alien.
You cunt.
Yeah, I am a cunt. But the thing is, we can...
Okay, but you got to justify it. Why is she awesome sauce?
Well, the reason why she's awesome sauce is the fact that Ripley originally, and I know every Alien fan is going to pick this out, Ripley originally was supposed to be a man.
She was. How are they going to pick that out?
Right, no, the fact that her character originally was supposed to be a man.
Yeah, that's how the script was written.
Yeah, but she wasn't. It's played by Sigourney Weaver, who's a woman.
Yeah, I know, but everyone sort of knows she was written as a man.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Everyone's going to say it.
You're not an Alien fan if you didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm going to say. Everyone's going to say that. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, do it. We knew it.
Okay, carry on.
All right. But what I liked about her is that she's not sort of like overtly sexualized. She did not have to have her character change the fact that it was Sigourney Weaver that was playing Ripley. And as well, she's a character that I can just get behind because of, first of all, like the first Alien film, it's like fucking, it's a horror film, like it's a horror film, sci-fi horror, it's a hybrid, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like, it was a strong character that wasn't, and I know that the fact that when it was made, but like now we have the sort of modern day horror films where they have to overtly say, oh, look how strong and brave this character is. It's like, no, Ripley was just brave.
Yeah.
And was just good and solid. That's my first.
She never needed to prove herself.
Yeah, exactly.
I think memory serves, wasn't she already an officer on the ship? Like, she held rank and power and respect.
Yeah. And also yeah, exactly. And she, solid character. Second one. Okay, now hear me out. Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. Yes. So her character in the books and in the films is it starts off that she's like this sort of, to quote Professor Severus Snape, an insufferable know-it-all. But the thing is, she was just smart, right? She was a smart character.
I think she casted the most spells in the first one.
Oh, did she? Harry cast no spells. Again, that's a little bit trivia there, everyone knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was smart character. And it wasn't just the fact that she was smart. And they're like, oh, and J.K. Rowling wrote, like, oh, Hermione Granger was just inherently smart. It was the fact that she studied. She was a massive bookworm. Like, she used to read books. It was like, how do you know this? Oh, because I read the books.
In Hogwarts, a history.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, I know that's a meme, but it's like, yeah, she read the book. She did the work. That's how she knows this. It's not that she's just inherently good at, you know, being smart. It's like,
yeah, she put the work in.
Yeah, put work like that one. That's...
Is that all? Not for the fact that she pretty much saved all of Harry's fucking life like 9 times.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Every
she's
film.
Very smart, and you know, she thinks ahead, and she's the smart, like...
Punch Draco straight in the fucking face.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels that throughout her character, and much like Ripley's character as well, it's earned. It's earned as well. She just doesn't sort of get it sort of randomly. It's like, oh, she needs to be strong, so she's going to do this.
Yeah, no. She's not the fucking chosen one.
Yeah, exactly. She because Harry is the chosen. She earns like, being smart, and then also she changes as well. You know, from being the sort of bookworm that follows all the rules, which is kind of weird, because she breaks a lot of rules. But you know, that's good character development. I like Hermione Granger as a character for sure. The next one is my third one. These are not in particular order or whatever.
Okay.
But if I had to pick, you know, top three, is Evie from The Mummy. Now, once again, much like Hermione Granger, she is smart, again, because she studies. And what I like about her character is the fact that she is thrown into an environment where she doesn't belong. Like this sort of environment of like gunfighting and monsters and things like that. Like, but she's, to quote her again in the film, a librarian. You know, but she's
So that
she's
doesn't sort of make her a damsel in distress.
yeah, exactly. But she's no, it doesn't make her a damsel in distress because she's in this alien environment which she then adapts to very quickly, and you see her do that as well within the second film. She's not in the third film because they replaced her with someone else. I can't remember the actress's name, but her character development of being a fish out of water in the first film, and then in line with the, and then definitely, having experience in the second film. I think that's a great character arc that she does. And also, there is the part where she is a damsel in distress, but that's not her entire character. She's not like an Indiana Jones, like with whatever her name is in Temple of Doom. Was it Billy or something like that?
Willie.
Yeah, Willie. She is a damsel in distress because she's fucking useless. Evie is smart, Evie adapts, and therefore I like her.
She definitely has her expertise. She's integral to the plot. So everything that happens wouldn't happen without her action. I will obviously admit that. Willie is inconsequential.
Like there is no, like Willie is the sort of thrown into somewhere, and she screams a lot, and the only time where Willie actually adds stuff is by accident, whereas Evie knows how to read, sort of Egyptian, the Egyptian runes and stuff like that. That's how she manages to actually help because she has the knowledge. Whereas Willie is just like, oh, I accidentally did this thing, and now you guys are safe.
Then there's the second film where she can't even stand up in a fucking wicker hot air balloon without falling out of it and needing to be saved.
Yeah, but that doesn't make her character invalid.
Not invalid, no. Okay.
So what are your top three?
Again, much like yourself, these are in no particular order. I'm first starting with Fiona from Shrek. Now...
Oh, I forgot.
This woman is an absolute bouse. She is the goat of the Shrek universe. Firstly, she is fully independent. She don't need no ogre to sort out her problems. She can take care of herself. She can defeat all of Robin Hood and her merry men. She is smart.
And her merry men?
Yeah, they're her. She took over it. Fuck off. She's the boss now. Even while pregnant, she was able to establish a coup and overthrow an invading army from taking over her castle.
I'm surprised that none of her children had, issues after that.
Well, they're ogres.
Oh, so you wouldn't know. It's ogreist.
Fiona was smart, funny, powerful, strong, capable, adaptable, and absolutely a really well-rounded and yet still sympathetic and vulnerable character. She wasn't just a strong woman with no flaws. She had moments when she was vulnerable emotionally, when she actually felt herself in a weakened state and allowed herself to enjoy surrender certain moments of power to others and vice versa.
And also good character arc as well. She starts off as the damsel in distress, but then, where she's like, her idea of Shrek bit, or the knight saves me, therefore he's my true love. But then Shrek's like, no, mate, it's not. And it's switches sort of what she has believed for so long on its head. Because then, in the second one, when he finds her diary, she's like, oh shit, this is what she's sort of been kind of brainwashed in a way to, believe.
All throughout the movies, Fiona has always had her shit together. Even trapped in a castle, she always knew exactly what she wanted. The second movie knows exactly what she wants. She wants her Shrek to get on with her family. Everything's going to be great. Everything's fine. Third movie, having a baby. It happened. She wanted it. Shit happened. She worked around it. Still got what she wanted. Fourth movie, Shrek always is the one to fuck up, and Fiona is always the one that is always the rock of their entire family. Fiona is a bouse.
Also, yeah, again, it's like Robin Hood, in the first one, where she's just fucking clearing house with his merry men.
Exactly.
And that's a good, subversion of stuff, because, again, subverting the idea, damsel in distress, but then, she knows, martial arts and shit like that. That's a cool sort of, twist. And she even says, like, when
To
you
my
watch it-
recollection, that fight scene was one of the earliest parodies of The Matrix. Because they had that slow-mo movie,
yeah, it
didn't
was, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, they referenced so many things in Shrek.
Yeah.
No, but she's a cool cat. Again, when
Holy
Shrek...
shit, I forgot the beginning of the second one, they referenced Lord of the Rings when they're doing their wedding rings.
Yeah, they do.
What's the fucking point of that?
Again, like with sort of at the time when Shrek came out, I mean there were like other films with like references and shit, but it was like when Shrek came out and stuff like that, like it was a very different kind of film, that come out. That it's got like all these sort of fairy tale references, the Three Pigs and Pinocchio and
Yeah.
It's got all these things and stuff like that. It's like
And
there's
I like
no
how
film like it, you know
it's
what I
also
mean?
a film for kids and adults. There's so many
yeah.
references like Farquaad.
Yeah,
It's basically
Lord
fuckwad.
Fuckwad. Yeah, for sure.
And again, it's all thing. Do you think it's compensating for something?
Yeah, no, sure. No, Fiona, 100% solid character. What's the second one?
The second one might be controversial, but I will fight this to the end. Cersei Lannister.
Explain.
Okay, incestuous. What someone does in the privacy of their own bedroom is their business, and I don't care. Now, as a leader, no, that counts.
I love that that's your opening one. It's like, okay, incestuous.
You got to deal with that large incestuous elephant in the room first.
You're not going to ease them into it, are you? You're just going to fucking ram it in hard, are you? There's not going to be spit or anything. You're just going to shove it in right there. Okay, incestuous.
You got to start.
Strong start.
We've dealt with that. That's her own business. It wasn't hurting anyone apart from Bran Stark. It wasn't hurting anyone else. It was just their own sort of thing.
Consenting adults and all that.
It's not like it brought down the whole entire, 8 kingdoms due to the incestuous monarchy. Anyway.
Isn't it 7?
7 kingdoms. Well, whatever.
No, like genuine questions.
Yeah, 7 kingdoms. But yes, this is a strong woman, once again, knows exactly what she wants. Unlike, I would honestly argue this, unlike Jaime Lannister, does not always bring up her father whenever she's making a point. I feel she never needs to. Like, she's the queen of Westeros. Whenever someone gives her shit, it's like, like Draco. Like, Jaime Lannister would be like, my father will hear about this. My father is this and that. No, Cersei, she's a strong, independent woman that don't need no Tywin. She absolutely always handled her own business. Yeah, with shady murder and all that, but you got to use the resources you have. And even when it found out, by the way, our family's broke and we're in debt, she didn't even fucking, flinch or anything. She continued to handle her business. Cersei Lannister was the only governing body from stopping the 7 kingdoms falling into chaos. You got Daenerys with dragons to the east. You got White Walkers and that to the north. You got Robb Stark to the fucking...
He's also from the north.
Auto to the north. And all that sort of thing. And what's happening? Her husband's just died. Her kids are dropping like flies and all this shit. And Cersei, her fucking brother is handless and hostage somewhere. Her dad's being an asshole. Cersei, when you really think about it from her perspective, again, it's the idea that everyone's the hero of their own story. She was the only one holding Westeros together for so long.
And also, she's fucking hardcore as well. Like, she blew up the set to Baelor.
Yep.
She was like, these people, it's like, there are these people that I can't outsmart, so I'm just going to kill them.
Rising cult was spreading its evil poison.
Yeah, and so she was like, I'm going to fucking kill these guys. And also, as well...
Kill the plant by the root.
There was one bit that I really loved in Game of Thrones, is when, the fucking whatever, from the Martells, killed her daughter. I'm not gonna lie, man. The moment she captured both of them, and then poisoned, Olania's Martell's daughter in front of her, I was like, you're gonna have to watch your daughter die. I was like, oh yes, Cersei, fucking get in.
When she captured that nun that had abused her.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh yes, mate. I was like, you know what, Cersei, fucking hardcore. Fucking.
You can't say she hasn't been through hardship as well.
I'm not gonna argue with you about how Cersei is fucking strong. She's fucking brutal. She's ruthless.
She is an Iron Queen, and as long as you don't make jokes about her walking through the street naked, you're fine. Your head won't be splattered against the wall by the mountain. Don't cross Cersei, and you're fine. She will also... That's another point. She's not always looking for people to kill. She can be civil. She can be diplomatic.
Yeah.
She'll take you through that walk through the Garden of Betrayal and get you on her side. Like, she's had... How many people does she have around her finger? Sir Lawrence, Littlefinger, like...
Yeah.
Endless people. She was constantly spinning around her finger.
There are parts, though, where she does sort of let the facade slip. You know...
Well, she's only human, and again, she was holding a whole empire together.
But that's what I like about her is that, you know, that she is human. There's none of that. But there are parts where, you know, there are parts definitely in the second and third, and in the first, actually throughout, really, where you're like, Cersei is actually a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
She's not just this sort of... Because there are parts where she acts a bit like she's sort of... Like, just kind of a bit of a brat or whatever. But then just like, oh, no, shit, this woman actually knows, like, how to get people killed.
Well, yeah, that's the reason, Tywin grew fond of Arya, because she reminded her of Cersei.
Again, Arya's a fucking killer. And so Cersei's fucking ruthless.
If I hadn't chose Cersei, I would have chose Arya. Again, both know exactly what they want, how to get it done, let nothing stand in their way, and are absolute badasses.
I feel I like Cersei as a character more than Arya.
I feel like if those two had met under different circumstances, they would have got along quite well. Because Cersei hated how weak Sansa was, but Arya was always strong.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I don't necessarily... not dislike about Arya is the fact that she's always been strong and then she just gets stronger. It's just like, okay, so you've always been strong.
Oh, then nature versus nurture.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, she's always been strong and then she gets strong. But there's like, I don't know. I feel like
I'm struggling to recall fucking Sansa getting stronger.
She definitely does. She becomes a queen in the north. She gets fucking Peter Baelish fucking murdered. And
when it's at her most easiest convenience.
Yeah, that's the point. Be smart. She's smart. Just because it's easy doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve it. It means she was smart enough to make it easy for her. You know? Fucking don't fight hard, fight smart.
Fair enough. I have my problems.
Arya I feel like Arya, especially in like the TV series at the end, just became a bit of a Mary Sue.
I would agree there, but I have bigger
problems. Cersei, 100%. I agree with you on that.
I have my problems with Sansa, to the point I've even argued this with previous partners and all that were real big fans of Sansa, but she really bothered me.
I've never been a fan of Sansa, but there are parts where I thought, okay, Sansa, like, you are kind of cool.
We've both read the books and all that sort of thing, and I remember when I was reading the first book, and I'd finish a chapter on Jon Snow, and I'd turn the page, and it was Sansa, and I'd be like, I would honestly go, oh. I would honestly hate her whinging about a seamstress and all that shit.
I think the thing with me, I did that with Arya, because I'd seen the TV show, I was like, Arya, I was like, okay, I know what happens. But I'm not a pussy, so I read the chapter anyway, but I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I read the books before the show.
I never...
Yes, aren't I fucking better than everyone?
No, but I'm braver. I'm braver because I read the chapters even though I knew what was going on.
Alright then, I have a...
What's your third one? Your third one.
Oh,
we should probably do honourable mentions.
We'll do some honourable mentions.
Do your third one, though.
Okay, I am going to choose as a third character that I obviously have pre-planned up to this point in time, which is, of course, going to be...
Queen Elizabeth II. No, sorry.
I'm not at all looking for any kind of influence. It's that moment, you can think of 1,000 things, but someone tells you to say, think of a thing, and you go, ugh.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For some reason, the person in my head is Leela from Futurama. Who was in her...
she's a cool character.
She was in herself kind of a badass. I don't know if I'd rank her very high, but Again,
she was cool, man.
Again,
I did enjoy.
She was captain of the ship. She could handle herself in a fight. She was strong, independent, funny, smart. Didn't rely on anyone, but allowed herself to be vulnerable. Very similar themes to like Fiona and all that.
Yeah,
she subverted, like in sci-fi adventure. She was the leader.
Yeah.
Like Bender and Fry, let's be fair, were dipshits. She was the only reason they didn't die 100 times.
A bit like Hermione in a way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely
if
like
Ron and
Hermione.
Harry just done shit by themselves, they would have fucking died.
Yeah. The Devil's Snare would have strangled them to death.
Yeah. Because, and again, like, with Hermione, it's like, oh, I've read about it. And it's like, you read about it, that's how they lived. You know? So it's like that, I think, in a way, it's a bit like a D&D group. It's like, you have to have people that sort of good, well, not have to, but like, having people that are good at different things. So like, Hermione is very good. Like, the fact that, like you said, that Hermione knows about Devil's Snare.
Oh, holy shit.
Pays out.
Have you ever watched Avatar The Last Airbender?
No, I've only watched the
Oh,
Avatar.
there's a character called Katara.
Explain it to people. And explain why you like it.
Holy shit. I feel like people that are fans of The Last Airbender are already like, yeah, I understand why you go with Katara. Toph as well. Toph is absolutely an OG goat of the show, but I'm going with Katara. I feel like I'd have to explain the whole show to you why she's a badass character. Basically, there are people.
I don't know, do your best.
I'll keep
It'll
it.
Be alright. It'll be alright.
I'll keep it as quick as I can. There are people that can control.
Story of my sex life.
There are certain people that can control each one of the 4 elements, and it's really cool. Okay, so there's this one character called.
I knew that much about it.
There's one guy that can control all the elements, and he's really cool. He's called the Avatar, and it's really cool. Anyway, he fucks off for 100 years and fucks back on again when he's discovered in a block of ice by fuck off, she's the main character, Katara, who is a waterbender. And basically the whole story is trying to overthrow the Fire Nation, which is trying to Hitler-esque enslave the whole world under their own dominion. And her mother died, and she has a brother, and she's an absolute badass. She protects the main. She's waterbender Hermione. Oh my god, she is
a waterbender Hermione.
Yes.
God damn, that's funny.
She is an absolute boss, and I have to say it like that because boss doesn't do it justice. She's at least an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have an honourable mention?
Yeah.
Eowyn or something? Not Arwen. Fuck her.
No,
she cried on horses. That's all.
Although, to be fair...
Actually, Eowyn and
Liv
Arwen.
Tyler, everyone talks about in Lord of the Rings how, Viggo Mortensen broke his toes by kicking a helmet.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler, who plays Arwen, stabbed herself with her own sword while riding a horse, but no one talks about that.
One seems a little bit more accidental than the other.
Yeah, I know, but getting stabbed in the leg versus, breaking your toes, man.
And she didn't break character or anything.
No, I don't think so, but she got stabbed in the leg. That's still hardcore.
That's fair enough.
I think this is difficult for me because I feel like there are lots of it, and they do it very well. But for me, and we've said this in our previous episode, but Martha from Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah. She was my favourite.
Yeah, she was my favourite companion because I liked the fact that she as well was a doctor, a human doctor.
Oh, wasn't she a nurse?
A nurse.
I'm sure she was a nurse.
But the point is, well, it doesn't matter. The fact is that she was in the medical field, whereas Rose was just, a randomer.
She worked at a clothing store, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, or something like that. But what I liked about Martha...
Not demeaning retail workers. I work in food service, trust me.
But I think Martha, for me, when she first came on to, Doctor Who, was... I just felt she wasn't... even as a kid, or when I was younger, I was just like, oh, Rose... there's no shit about Billie Piper or anything like that, but she was, a little bit annoying. Whereas Martha... had parts where she was very funny, but then she was also very, she was very unstereotypical as a damsel in distress again. She was a very strong character, and as I sort of grew older, watching Martha and stuff like that, and I really liked her. I attached to her, very much as a doctor companion, and there are other episodes where Martha comes back and stuff like that.
I thought you preferred Karen Gillan's character.
I do like Karen Gillan, but it's
Amy, wasn't it? Or...
Amy Pond. Yeah, I do like Karen Gillan.
I hate her,
but
Amy Pond, not Gillan. I hate Amy Pond so fucking much.
But I think like Martha for me was like, because like when you're sort of younger, you're kind of used to sort of like the women being damsels in distress. Growing up with like Disney.
So you're saying she was an active companion?
Yeah, she was an active companion.
Yeah.
She wasn't just there along for the ride, which I really liked. And
which you can almost argue is a very egotistical thing for the Doctor. He just has, like Morty from Rick and Morty, has someone there to react to everything.
Whereas Martha didn't.
How fucking amazing am I, Morty?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, Doctor, that's really impressive. Oh, jeez, Doctor, that's really amazing how you stopped the Daleks.
Yeah, and I like... and she's funny as well, like, there's the episode called The Shakespeare Code, where they go back and meet Shakespeare.
Is that the one with the witches?
Yeah. Because Shakespeare wrote about it.
Instantly.
But then there's a point where, because there's the, Love Labour's Lost play. Oh, right. And then there's the Love Labour's One thing.
Didn't they go to Pompeii?
And then, they also went to Pompeii. But then Martha is like, oh, we should, like the first few she says, it's like, oh, we should find Love Labour's One and then sell it. Or whatever. And then she starts going like, author. It's like she's having like the time of her life. She's really funny. But then there's also parts where she is, like actually, like a strong sort of like actual character that's not, like you said, not just along for the ride. Whereas there are so many characters, especially in the last seasons with, whatever, where they're just there.
We've done that episode.
Yeah, we've done that. But
what's his name? Chip Douglas or something?
Chris Chinballs.
That's
but
which I haven't seen, so I'm a bit.
No, you're not missing anything, mate. Don't worry about it. Not that Jodie Whittaker's bad, but Chris Chimballs is. Anyway, Martha Jones in Doctor Who. That is a character that I will rewatch all the time.
As an honourable mention, I also give the woman Gal Gadot that plays Wonder Woman. I think she brought a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Not just. Everyone thinks Wonder Woman, oh yeah, strength, Ronda Rousey, fucking brrr. But I think Gal Gadot also brought a lot of innocent humour and even at times vulnerability to the role, which I think helped her as a three-dimensional character. Has she just been like an Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of buff woman?
Wonder Woman...
That would have been boring.
The first Wonder Woman is the better out of all the...
I'll be honest, I haven't seen 1984, is it?
I haven't either, but apparently it's been slammed. But
I heard it's done...
But out of all the DC ones that I've seen, Wonder Woman's the best.
Yeah, I've seen her obviously in that one in Batman v Superman, and I've seen the Snyder Cut.
I also like...
Justice League.
You haven't seen Mandalorian, but Cara Dune, Mandalorian. She's a great...
Was she the one that got sacked by Disney?
Yeah, because she made some dumb tweets. Which...
She was in Deadpool as well, wasn't she? She was the badass woman. Like, she was an actual ex-MMA fighter. She was the one
she's still an MMA fighter.
Yeah, but she was the one that was like, wasn't it? Ajax's, like, second, the woman. I'm pretty sure that was her.
Oh, I don't know, but...
Promise you.
Yeah, again, she made some dumb tweets, got fired. But that's neither here nor there. But she is a good, again, strong female character that doesn't insist upon herself as well. Because she, her character in Mandalorian is that she's was a rebel, but she was a former, sort of basically like a stormtrooper essentially that went about fucking up, villages and stuff like that. But then she's like, oh, I actually found out that the Empire was, pretty dodgy, so I changed sides. And Cara Dune, that's her character. But, that's an honourable mention for me and from Mandalorian.
Right. We're halfway through now, and we've doted and mentioned upon a lot of amazing female characters. Before we get into what will probably be a large discourse with the episode... Let's quickly cement what we feel makes a good female character in fiction before we discuss the more controversial depictions of female characters in recent media. Rob, what would you say makes a good female character? I know you're a bloke, but from an objective point of view, as an audience member,
I'm also
how do
straight.
you feel a female character should be portrayed in media?
Well, I'm also straight, white, and male, so my opinion means nothing.
Yeah.
But a good female character for me is someone that is just like a person. It's just like a human being. Because men and women, we're basically the same. We're not sort of like aliens.
Yeah, some
to
bits
each other.
jumble, some bits fumble.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're basically the same. I think I like a character that is good as a character and interesting that just happens to be female, rather than their thing. Because, like, if your personality in a character is about what your gender is, then that's not storytelling. Because normal people aren't like that. Normal women don't go around talking about how they're women. They
make
just
their
go about-
existence about their gender.
Yeah, exactly. They just go about their day-to-day lives because that's what people are like.
Yeah,
It's like, again, like we talked about Cersei Lannister. She doesn't go around talking about how, oh, I'm a woman. No, she just goes about her business. And the reason why I like this is because it makes them more human. It's just like normal people, I assume normal people with their day-to-day lives don't think about their gender all the time, because you can have like strong. I mean, there are women in the military and stuff like that. And
not just military, women firefighters, women police officers, and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Women doctors.
So exactly. Even like I mean, there are some funny parts in Doctor Who where, in the beginning one where Jodie Whittaker, like, forgets that she's a woman. Like, that's kind of funny for comedic effect. But I feel like...
Oh, I've got
characters...
boobs.
Yeah, there's, like, characters that... Yeah, no, that's the one thing. It's like, when there's a TARDIS, she's like, come to daddy. Oh, no, wait, I mean mummy. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of funny. But, like, I feel that there are parts... I mean, maybe it's to do with the climate at the moment, but... it's like we have to draw attention to it. It's like, no, you can have a good character. Like, if they're good like Hermione Granger is a great character, but they don't insist upon the fact that she's a girl.
No, I don't think it's ever mentioned once.
Yeah, exactly. They just talk
I think
about
in the wizarding world, they never really mention that
Yeah.
female witches are ever sort of deemed less than male wizards.
If you're a strong character, you're a strong character. Because guess what? That's what people are like.
I would argue, like, with Professor McGonagall and all that, like, authority figures that are female are always, like, people, like, Dumbledore, people view McGonagall on the same, like, field as Dumbledore.
Yeah. Like, for me, it's...
Maggie Smith is awesome.
For me, it's, I enjoy characters that are good, and I don't care if they're like, what their gender or sexuality is. Like, if they're good characters, that's good. Again, going back to Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi, Bill Potts, all right? Bill Potts, she has an eye for the ladies, okay? And there's bits in it where she just feels the need to say that she's attracted to women, like, every sort of now and again. It's like we don't care. Like, Bill, you're a good character, okay? But you don't need to keep... reminding people what your sexuality is.
That was a big thing in the 90s when there'd be a gay character. It would be like they'd be overly proud of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest, it's really harped upon. I don't know if you ever watched Torchwood.
Yeah, no, I've watched Torchwood.
Like, the guy that plays Captain Jack, I've forgotten the name, sadly. But
John Barrowman.
They would really cringely harp on the fact he was gay so much in that show. Like,
he just has, like, sex.
I'm going to gay my way down to the store and gay my way into buying some What's-It. So it's like, dude, we get it. No one cares. When I say no one cares, I just mean in the sense that it doesn't change our opinion of you.
And again, it's like, so for instance, we're talking about Torchwood and stuff like that. There's another character called Yanto. And
Asian or
no, he's Welsh. It's a Welsh name.
Yanto,
that's what it's called.
That's a Welsh name.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Yeah. I'm in trouble for that one.
But it's and we've seen this in Killing Joke, the one 2017, that Rihanna.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
they have that
Batman movie.
stereotypical gay.
Oh yeah, that was Batgirl's friend.
Yeah,
and I thought the gay scene was tough.
It's like look, like here's the thing, like not all gay people are like that.
Also, not all women have a pet gay guy as a friend, which is how so many of them were depicted in like 90s movies. All straight women had a pet gay guy that would solve their relationship problems.
It's like a stereotype, isn't it? It's like this sort of...
Which I think makes a female character look worse. That I need
to have a gay friend.
They need to have someone else to solve their relationship problems.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like...
Although I think we covered that in rom-coms.
Yeah, I think we did. But I think in media, talking about, like having like sort of gay characters and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, we know, gay people, but there were some people that I knew.
We work in entertainment, Rob. Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah, exactly. But there were some gay people, like, even back at, college, I was like 16, it was like, that I would never have guessed. Or whatever, but that's the thing. It's like, oh, you never guess. It's like, yeah, because people are just people. They don't need to.
I won't name names here, obviously, but I don't know if you recall, there was one person that was, of course, gay, and it's like you're saying, just a regular person. But obviously, there's the old adage: stereotypes exist because stereotypes exist. And I recall there was another fellow, lovely man, loved our work especially. That was very what you'd call stereotypically gay. And I recall the gay man that was just, a normal guy, hating that other gay man because of how stereotypical he was. Yeah. And I just found that hilarious, personally, from a jokey point of view.
But yeah, anyway, going back to the sort of, the subject about like, female
what makes a female character strong?
I like female characters as long as the character is strong, and I like them when they're more like people and not like the stereotypical. Like again, we talked about like Indiana Jones with Willie. Like it was like, oh my god, I broke a nail. It's like no, not all women are like that.
However, you can't argue. A lot of strong male characters do harp upon their own masculinity quite a lot to establish themselves as male characters. Whether it's muscles or like the old James Bond films, getting with women, like
but
with a supposed strong male character, a lot of stereotypes are invoked with them.
But what I found is like men that always have to talk about like how sort of alpha male they are generally very insecure.
Yeah, douchebags.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm alpha male. It's like, yeah, no, honey.
Would you say that's changed though in recent Hollywood years? Because again, sadly,
look at the Avengers. Everyone's fucking stacked, aren't they? Like Chris Hemsworth. Chris Evans, they're all got fucking six packs and shit.
Let's be fair, because of what supposedly in the universe they have to do, you'd have to be physically fit.
Hugh Jackman as well.
I'm not saying they don't harp on that. I especially will always remember, what is it? I think it might have been in was it Age of Ultron? The moment, Civil War, when Captain America has to stop Bucky taking off on the airplane. And you just see his bulging bicep roaring as he pulls it inward. But that's the thing, though. Like you said, he never talks about, I'm such a fucking strong guy. But it's perpetuated visually, but never said verbally.
And again, like Black Widow, she never has to say she's a badass, but you see it.
Yeah.
She shows...
Show, don't tell.
Yeah, show, don't tell.
Would you say she's a strong female character?
Yeah, I would. I would, but again, she's also human. Because I think with Captain Marvel, I think we talked about this, but like Captain Marvel, it's like, it's just like, oh no, I'm just like strong. But then she doesn't, and then she has like, I don't know, it's just the way it's written, sort of like, it's like, oh yeah, but I've got some sort of emotional thing. And that's the sort of crux of the thing. It's like, oh, I'm too emotional. That's why Jude Law is telling me to not be too emotional. It's like, well, look, why don't you just... Because they don't act like people. Like, if you act like people, people can relate. The audience can relate. But if you don't act like people, the audience can't relate. So why should they care?
What bothers me is that so many people saw the dislike to Captain Marvel as like, oh, you just all hate strong women. And I was sort of like, wait, hang on. We've had years of Pepper Potts. Fucking all the women that were in Black Widow. Yeah. We've had all the, what was it? Even the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, like, what was her name? Agent fucking...
We've had people like fucking Velma from Scooby-Doo.
I'm just talking about the MCU specifically.
But like
and
our
I'm like,
generation in general have had loads of strong.
But I'm just saying, in the MCU specifically, like even though there was strong one in Black Panther, the MCU have had so many strong female characters that we all loved.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the fact that Captain Marvel's a woman; it's the fact that she's just a bitch.
Well, again, in fact, we've had. I mean, through our media consumption, we've had people like Eowyn, who is an amazing strong woman. Then you go in.
Oh, but no, it's just misogyny. It's
No,
like,
but it's not. Everyone loves Eowyn, but then they're like, "Oh, you don't like this one." It's like, well, maybe it's because you didn't write it right.
They said people didn't like the female Ghostbusters due to misogyny. No, because it was unfunny, cringeworthy, and lazy.
Yeah.
Do you like the female Ghostbusters? Or?
The one thing I will say about it is that the ghost fighting scenes are entertaining.
What, when the ghost guy gets kicked in the balls?
Well, I mean, no, there's more than that. But rather than, holding a thing and going, eee, that's boring compared to actually like fighting ghosts. Like, that was entertaining. It was dumb, but it was entertaining. All right, don't act like pointing a fucking laser beam at a ghost is better than punching a ghost in the face.
Well, that's what they established was how they fought ghosts. You're like judging the original based on what the original adapted from them.
Doesn't make it so. So, just because it's the original doesn't make it better.
How would you fight ghosts?
I'd punch a ghost. I mean, that's way more entertaining.
With what?
When you're put with the
whole point was that their lasers were the only thing that could interact with ghosts.
Did you even watch the third film?
The third one?
Yeah, the women one. There's only 3.
Wait, does that take place in the same universe? I thought it's a reboot.
Yeah, no. Because they got fucking Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray in it.
Yeah, but they were like consultants and taxi drivers. No way it was in the same universe.
Okay, fine. Well, even if it wasn't, the fight scenes amongst the ghosts are way more entertaining than just pointing a laser at something.
I would honestly say the effects were better in the original.
Oh, mate, I think you're whipped.
My rose-coloured shades here.
Yeah, mate. Weak.
To be honest, I am a little bit hostile towards CGI, I won't lie.
But again, the CGI in the third Ghostbusters one is better than the 1980s one.
I think my overall point is I'm kind of annoyed of people reacting to people disliking unlikable female characters as hating them because they're women.
I think that is something that happens though.
But the thing is, like I said before, like we've had a decade of loving Gamora. I'm sorry I didn't mention her before. Gamora, along with Black Widow and all. We've loved female characters in the MCU for years. Nebula. And then we didn't like Captain Marvel because she was a snooty bitch. It's like, oh, you all hate women.
It's because she was
fucking hell.
And again, it's like people that don't like, Rey from Star Wars, it's because she's a Mary Sue.
Yes,
it's like
she's just perfect.
She's all this stuff. It's like it's like, oh no, I can do this easily. It's like, well, that's the thing. Like, if you make stuff too easy for the protagonist, then there's no threat. If you make stuff too difficult, then you need to rely on something like a Deus Ex Machina to get them out of it.
I think it's because they never show her in like real physical struggle. Okay, for example, Neo in The Matrix, he was able to download all of his abilities. Yes. He could download Kung Fu, but you could say that's very Gary Stu. But immediately after he learned all those abilities, you get a whole scene of Morpheus kicking his ass.
Yeah.
Just because he has those abilities does not mean he's not still vulnerable and can get his ass handed to him. So even that's the thing. If you're going to make your character perfect, you need to balance that out by showing them that they're not perfect. Show perfection and then show reality.
Yeah, and
that's how you balance it.
It's in The Last Jedi when Rey is, training, quote unquote, with Luke. And he's like, I've never seen power like this before. And it scares me. And you're like, she has done literally no training. She's been with you for like a week, but she just has this power. It's like, oh.
Well, not only Mark Hamill, but fans called that out as well. Like in the original Return of the Jedi, like he refused to give up on Darth Vader, who he knows was evil, and said, I still see good in you. Ben Solo shows a flicker of the dark side. Lightsaber, gotta kill that. Like
trying to nip it in the bud. I mean,
like,
that's more character development, arguably, than fucking
What,
Rey.
like Luke's PTSD of the dark side?
Yeah, he's probably like, oh shit.
Well, that was the whole point of Return of the Jedi. Like Luke, that's why like in Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi was dressed in black. Like he was a lot
like
more
father, like son, though. Gotta schwack some kids. I feel though that
Rey. I also want to bring up, because you saw it and then it made me see it after you saw it. We were talking about Mary Sue's, the worst Mary Sue of recent media. I haven't seen Black Widow, but from what they've done so far, I imagine it will probably still be on point. But the recent media in Disney, Mulan.
yes.
Though I would argue, in recent media, currently the worst depicted female main character.
The remake Mulan.
Yes.
If we are
Okay.
going to talk about the original Mulan.
Oh.
I think let's start where we at. Let's start with the original Mulan.
Agreed.
Film.
An amazing feminist. It's exactly what feminism. I'm going to sound like mansplaining it. Is exactly what feminism was meant to be. Not women being better than men, but equal to. Mulan originally was. She wasn't. How do I say this? She wasn't like a She wasn't a stereotype, but she was a bit of a. Let's be honest. She was a bit of a tomboy. She did not fit in with a society. Standard misfit protagonist. Fish. Doesn't fit in with her sort of society. But when she tried to do better than that, she realised, holy shit, this is actually really hard. When she tried to be a soldier, like, oh, I can't just show up and just do it. This is actually, there's actually fucking struggle in life. And then she trains, let's not overlook that. She trains her ass off. There are scenes in Make a Man Out of You, when she's getting her ass handed to her. She's sparring, she's getting whacked in the face, she's failing at physical tasks, but she learns, she adapts, and she overcomes. Yeah. And again, she overcomes.
And again, she, with the arrow in the pole, again, she, like you said, she learns, and then she does things smart. And then that's how she manages to get the arrow. And that shows, she's learning.
She didn't just have chi.
Yeah, which in the fucking... So the latest one, she has this chi. And this is the most insulting bit, is the fact that during the training, she has to actually tone down her powers to not show everyone up. That is not what Mulan is about. Look at the actual original source material of this Chinese. She's like a folk hero in Chinese, history. This is not what Mulan is about. It's not that oh Mulan, you're actually too powerful for training. Oh no, you have to hide the fact that you're too powerful. That's dumb as shit.
Can I take a quick moment to point how oddly patronising it was of Disney to film Mulan in an Asian cinema style, when Asian cinema has made Mulan films for years in Asian cinema that are 10 times better, and it's like Disney comes along and says, no, we're going to film it like Asia would like. It's like, who the fuck are you pretending to be?
It'd be like Asia coming along and saying, oh, we're going to film Robin Hood like Westerners would like.
No, it's like China coming along and saying, we're going to make a Fast and Furious movie.
No, it's like because Mulan's like a folk hero. It'd be like if, Chinese. I mean, I have no idea what Chinese cinema.
If they did St. George movie. If China tried to do a St. George movie and made it like Western cinema in the best way possible.
Westerners haven't even done a fucking St. George movie, have they?
That sounds like that could be a cool movie.
What, him slaying a dragon?
Like, I don't know, had a side character. Anyway, but not just the fucking whole chi thing. I say, it's real. Do you remember how the ending of the animated Mulan was when Disney originally did it?
Yeah.
How did they get to the Emperor?
They got by the three, soldier characters dressing up as women.
Exactly! That was the whole point of the subversion. Mulan had to learn the men's world, and in order to fulfill their duty as soldiers, the men had to learn the woman's world.
Also, Mulan is the highest body count of Disney princesses. She fucking stacked bodies.
Oh yeah, that mountain. Yeah, you can say that a few of them rouse out of the snow, but that's the entire Han army.
Yeah.
They had like 30 of them invade the capital. How many hundreds do you think were ready to take over China?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. They dressed up as women at the end, and it's not just a silly thing. It was the idea of them trading stereotypes in order to come together for the ultimate goal. That is the whole point.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the Mulan thing, was it like the bird sorceress woman was like, "No, let them know you're a woman." She threw off her armor and just rode a horse and was like, "I'm a woman." Oh.
It's like,
So
yeah,
cringe.
It's like, yeah, we knew that. But the thing is, it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. It matters what you've done. Like, we don't care that, like, you did a heroic thing, all right? That, in itself, is commendable enough. I will also say, I want to bring up this character.
Okay.
It's not from Mulan. But
Oh yeah, Mushu should have been in live action Mulan. That's the last thing I'll say on that.
oh, yeah.
Come on, Mushu.
But
Eddie Murphy would have done it.
there's this female character that I think we all know, everyone knows. It's Marge Simpson.
Okay.
Her character, and The Simpsons have been going on for, 1989?
So probably about
At least the
30-something
1980s. Yeah,
years.
It's been going on for a long fucking time.
They have a world record.
Yeah, but again, Marge Simpson as a character, as the Simpsons, just by the nature of the Simpsons, you know, their characters kind of go off on different, you know, they have like episodes every week or whatever. But again, Marge Simpson, I feel, despite being a cartoon character, is again, relating back, is very human.
Okay.
You know, she has her vices and
A gambling
she has
addiction.
yeah, and you know, sort of alcohol effects and stuff like that. She has these vices, and then she also, you know, cares deeply about her family as well. Absolutely, and she cares about her husband, despite the fact that, you know, I mean, look, here's the thing, like, Homer, you don't deserve Marge. All right, but Marge Simpson, you know, as a character, I think is probably one of the strongest female characters that's in our current media today.
I'm afraid I'd very much disagree.
Okay, bring it, fucker. Sorry.
Again, where to start? Firstly, a lot of the way she interacts with her children, Marge, okay, look, I'm going to get psychological here. I'm saying this as a framing device. Are you familiar with the works of Freud?
Relatively.
Now, there's the id, the ego, and the superego. The id is the ability to influence ideas into practicality. The ego is what the mind thinks of itself, and the superego is what the mind thinks of others that thinks of itself. Marge in The Simpsons is the superego. Basically, Marge's entire identity in the course of The Simpsons is always worried about how other people perceive the Simpson family. And that also reflects on how she advises her children to behave, and how she's worried about how Homer behaves and how she appears to other people. She's very superficial, she's egotistical, and she ultimately almost works advice to the detriment of her own children due to the ultimate goal of fitting in with society.
Why is that like a bad thing?
Well, because it's suppressing who you are as a natural person. Like I said, Marge is only ever concerned with how other people see The Simpsons.
Because she's concerned about her family.
She's concerned of how they're seen as.
No, she cares about her family.
Well, for example, I can reference a few episodes here. For one episode, Lisa is struggling with how being perceived as a nerd at school. And there was actually a quote from Marge saying, it's not how you feel inside, it's what shows up on the surface that counts. That is an actual quote from Marge.
Okay.
Marge, throughout the whole Simpsons, there was also another episode when they were joining a country club and Marge was actively changing her outfit every time she visited. Like, she was at the sewing machine, she was obsessed with the whole family seeming appropriate for these people that ultimately didn't care about her.
But in the same episode, she actually gets rid of the country club and actually goes with her family. At the end.
At the end.
At the end.
How
At the end, which means she cares more about her family than she cares about the country club.
In that one instance, however, her attitude from then on does not show she has taken that lesson onto appeal.
Would you be comfortable saying that Marge is a bad person?
No.
Okay.
Because ultimately, and that was the whole point of Freudian's analysis of the human brain, the whole point of the id, the ego, and the superego is the objective of ultimate self-actualization.
So would you say that Marge is not a good female character?
A female character?
Well, I mean, we're talking about like...
Is she a good mother? No. I would not say Marge Simpson is a good mother.
Why would you not say that?
For my previous reasons of her trying to...
you've given...
curtail her child's feelings as well as their actions
but
her own self-image of how the family should be portrayed.
But like I said, that she's like flawed in those couple of instances.
I don't just mean with like her gambling addiction.
Because because she's human.
Yeah, but she is always advising her children to not be different, to sort of fit in with society and all that sort of thing. So she is actively, constantly trying to, while she's tolerating certain differences within her children, she's always advising them to sort of fit in. And maybe you could argue...
I think she's very supportive of her children, though.
My experience with how I've observed the character falls very differently.
I think she's quite supportive of her children, though.
Do you have an example?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance, Lisa's saxophone.
Right.
She supports, like, Lisa's musical, talents. And there's also an episode where there's a school dance where there's this new girl called Alex, and there's a school dance. And Marge makes, like, homemade Pepsi.
What?
To take to the school dance, because Lisa's like, oh, I'm not going to go there. But then Marge is like, oh, look, it's like, I made this homemade Pepsi. It's a little thick, but the price is right, or something like that. It's kind of fun. But whatever, she still encourages Lisa to, like, go there. And then she's like, oh, well, even if you don't go, we can have our own party here, because you're, like, my best friend. Like, she
loves her children, of course.
Well, yeah. So surely, as a mother, she's like a good...
Well, I think that falls more under, again, maybe like a nature versus nurture sort of thing. Like, even though she loves her children, a lot of her parenting objectively falls along the idea of trying to curtail their being different and trying to fit into society.
But she's not a bad, like, person, though.
Oh, as a person, absolutely not. To be honest,
that's what I said. I said Marge is not a bad person, but then you said you disagree.
I said, like, I don't think she's a good mother. Oh. I did, as a female character, I ummed and ahed on. Okay. I didn't think she was a good mother.
Oh, okay, cool. Because, sorry, I said she's not a bad person, but then you said you disagree. Oh, whatever. People will listen to this probably, but whatever.
A bad person, no. Personally, I feel she should have divorced Homer long ago.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, for sure.
There's no argument there. Yeah, she should divorce Homer.
Yeah, like Marge, like, Homer, man, you don't deserve her, dude.
Like, no, I think no one's really in argument.
I said, is she a bad person?
Not really. She has... I don't agree with the way she raises her children, but, take a number there. I've been on certain estates in England. But, and there's the old adage, how can you tell people the way the kids? But maybe Marge raises her children based on the way she was raised, so who am I to judge? And then I just shut up.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there are some times where you're like, man, fucking raise your kids right.
I feel Marge is too preoccupied with how other people see the Simpson family, but that's, again, based around Freudian psychology. That's how the whole Simpsons in. That's why Bart and Lisa work well together, but fail by themselves. Lisa is the ego, and Bart is the id. Lisa is the theorist, Bart is the practicality.
Do they work together, though?
Absolutely. Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Absolutely. Bart and Lisa, whenever they take on a project together, they absolutely floor it. Solving Krusty's murder. Any sort of detective basically work. Because Lisa, for example, there's a scene when Lisa voices the old question, what is the sound of a one-hand clapping? What does Bart does? He says, it sounds like this. And he claps his hand together. And that is the ultimate dynamic of their relationship when they work together. Because Lisa is the theorist and Bart puts it into practice. By themselves, that's why Bart struggles at school. Because he probably has some sort of learning disability. And Bart... Because whenever Bart is interested in something, he thrives. He's learned multiple languages. If memory serves, he's learned French, he's learned Portuguese, and he's learned Spanish.
Didn't he do that when he was on drugs, though?
No. He learned French when he was a foreign exchange student and he was being abused by some, what are they called, wine farmers. He learned Portuguese when they were going on their way to fucking, what is it? No, he learned Spanish when they were going to Portugal, not realising they didn't speak Spanish. Like, Bart learns languages really easily. And there was an episode when Bart was a Boy Scout and he earned all of the patches really easily. When Bart actually is invested in something, he's super smart. As well as Lisa, who has no social advantages. She is book smart. So when the two of them work together, they're unstoppable together. It's the id and the ego, and Marge is the super ego.
Oh, man, that's fucking hardcore.
Maybe I thought about The Simpsons more than I should have.
Fuck, man. That's high speed. Okay, yeah. So Marge is a piece of shit.
No, she's not. She's just
just spent half an hour talking about how she is a piece of shit.
No,
backtrack on me now, pussy.
She's just a bad mother. She's not a piece of shit. She's a bad mother.
What's the difference?
She's not a bad...
Oh, no, sorry. You're a bad mother, but you're not a piece of shit. Mate, they're the same thing. They go hand in hand.
Oh, no. One's a job and one's who you are as a person.
What?
Mother...
No, they're not.
Mothering...
Just because you're a fucking... Oh, what does that even mean? Oh, one's a job, one's who you are as a person. It's like, oh, no, sorry, you're a bad mother. Oh, no, that's a job. Oh.
Well, not all mothers. That's not everything about the person, is it? Your mother isn't just your mother. She's an individual, three-dimensional person who has interests and a life outside of being your parent, right? Just as Marge isn't a bad person, but when she's a parent, she's not so good.
Okay. All right. I fucking... How long have we been going?
We've gone over an hour.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. If you understood that, which I definitely did, because I know, what's his name? Freud and,
Yes.
Einstein and shit like that. I definitely understood all of that.
Not quite
But
so
ladies
common.
and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Marge Simpson is a piece of shit. And until...
Don't quote me on that.
No, quote me on that, but you can listen for yourself. Not that anyone's listening at this point.
Let us know down in the comments your favourite female characters, your favourite movies with a female leading role that we probably did.
We definitely did. Not probably, definitely.
Morticia, she was a good female character.
No, she's a cunt as well. She's a bad mother. She lets her children fuck around with like weapons and shit. Ha fuck you!
But under her supervision.
No, not under her supervision. I've watched the films.
She's watching them.
No, she's a worse... no. I did that within 5 seconds.
Thing is watching them. You know, the hand.
Oh, yeah, the hand with no eyes.
Well, then how does he see where he's going?
He doesn't. He does it by touch, because he's a paedophile. I assume.
There's an end to the episode.
I don't know.
No one's listening.
Yeah, I know. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. However, and once again, if there is any... Oh! No, sorry, that was a different episode that we did. I was thinking of Bellatrix Lestrange. Did I bring her up? Did we bring her up? No.
I wouldn't say she's a strong female character.
Oh, she's very strong.
But not in the good way.
Yeah,
like, we mentioned her in the villains episode, but I'm not sure...
that was the previous...
I'm not sure girls should look up to her as a strong female example.
What about men? Can men look up to her as a strong female?
Men want to look up under her, but other than that...
I mean, it's Helen Bonham Carter, man. I mean, who wouldn't? You're weird if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you're gay.
Yeah.
But other than that...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. And until next time... You've been listening to... Dylan, what have they been listening to?
I don't know. It's been an hour. I don't really say anything at this point.
They've been listening to us.
And...
Laughing on a Trail.